I'm here in the Pantanal of Brazil to meet Mario Haberfeld, and he set up Oncafari, whose aim is to save the Jaguars of Brazil.
People have been raising cattle in the Pantanal for the last 200 years, and therefore the cattle has been the biggest enemy of the jaguar.
Obviously, as easy prey, jaguars will sometimes take cattle, and it means that they're often shot in retaliation. So what Mario was trying to do was to end that wildlife-human conflict. And as a child in Africa, he'd seen that ecotourism is a really powerful tool in conservation. His plan was to bring ecotourism to the Pantanal and prove to these ranchers that jaguars are worth more alive than dead. There's one vital flaw in Mario's plan. Jaguars are notoriously elusive, and seeing them in the wild is incredibly rare.
Jaguars are really hard to see, mainly because they are really afraid of people. We had to change that perception, so we did this process called habituation.
Habituation is basically a process of allowing animals to get really used to vehicles. So what you do is you follow an animal from a distance to start with, and you slowly get closer and closer, you spend more and more time with them, and after a while the animal realizes you're not a threat.
When I first meet Mario, he started to describe the project, and I was already fighting with him like, no, habituation is impossible, the jaguars must be really scared and all.
I went to the Brazilian government to say we wanted to work with jaguars, wanted to do habituation, which they had no idea what it is, and my background was a race car driver, so everybody thought I was crazy at the time. The first jaguar we started habituating is called Esperança, so we started 8 years ago. It was a long process. We had to follow her for about 2 years before we could actually see her properly.
I've lived in Brazil. I've spent many weeks trying to find jaguars, and I've never seen one before. But here on my first game drive, I saw 2 different jaguars, and honestly, my heart nearly stopped. Just saw a jaguar. Oh my gosh. Habituation here in the Pantanal was incredibly successful. In the first few years of Oncafari, about 1% of tourists saw jaguars. Now that number is up to 98%, and this is officially the best place in the world to see a jaguar.
We really believe that ecotourism is the way of saving the jaguars, but most importantly, ecotourism creates a lot of jobs for local people.
And it means that actually losing a few cattle to the jaguars doesn't matter anymore, because they make so much more money from the tourist industry and from showing people these amazing creatures. Last night was by far my favourite experience of this entire trip. I'd never thought I would see a big cat make a kill. We saw it from a distance, then we got close. We saw her dragging the capybara into a bush. She was looking up and she had blood all around her face. It was so dramatic. And she went back to her cub, and she was actually calling her cub. Her cub was about 1.5 years old. And we saw that the cub had actually had its first kill, we think maybe one of its first kills, and was flailing an armadillo around, kind of showing off to his mum, saying, "Look, Mum, I've been able to kill my own carcass." It was just the most incredible experience, and it's something I never thought I was going to get to see. It is truly wonderful to see wildlife and habitat being saved, local people benefiting, and business owners making a profit. This ecotourism model can be replicated anywhere around the planet. It really has proven that business can be used as a force for good.
Without a strong ecosystem for plants and animals, without clean air, water and soil, without a healthy home for all of Earth's inhabitants, both great and small, there really is no future for any of us. So please give generously so Entota can continue to change minds and empower actions that will help our planet heal. Thank you.